Day.
Children, I have some exciting news.
You are fake news.
Hello, Adelaide.
Triple M's ruined Dits for breakfast.
Overnight news.
Sydney, 239 cases yesterday. Dits, heaps of those out in the community. A lot of angst over there about people not doing the right thing.
That's a big number.
Too many people not listening, people not understanding. Lots of... was there a funeral the other day? There was 50 people there and 40-something of those got COVID. Big families over there in houses. You know, it's just spreading.
I had to talk to a friend in Sydney yesterday, and he's very, very angry about it, that people are not doing the right thing and just don't care. And then they're complaining that, we're still in lockdown.
Well, the first
They're
week...
just not listening.
We'll talk about this a bit later. The first week over there, there was pictures at Bondi of just people everywhere, no masks.
Yeah.
It's just weird. It's just it's stupid. And they're going to pay... I don't know, we're all going to pay the price, not just New South Wales. They're going to pay the bigger price, but how we're going to keep that out of our state now that we're COVID-free in the future is going to take a lot of management, and you'd have to think it's just about impossible.
All right. One of the biggest days in your life, Roo, grand final parade in Melbourne. What's the story?
This has been going since 1977, Dits. They get up to 150,000 people to the grand final parade. They've scrapped it this year just because of COVID, obviously. They're trying to devise plans to make the grand final go ahead with, 70 to 100,000 people at the MCG. And Eddie Maguire did a piece yesterday, took about 4 minutes of explaining a ring of steel around the G, 200 testing sites, test back in 10 minutes. If you have a false positive, you can go and get another. All these hoops you have to jump through to get a crowd at the grand final.
Was it realistic or not?
It was pushing the bounds of realistic bits. But they're desperate in Melbourne to get events there. You could understand how, like the businesses over there that have been smashed.
Yeah.
But if not, it'll go to either Perth or, who knows, maybe even Adelaide. But probably Perth would be favourite at this stage.
Yeah. Hey, the world of recycling, it's all we seem to talk about these days, and it's hit the Olympics in a big way. Tell us this story. This is good.
Well, apparently all the medals are made from recycled electronics. Now, this is very, very clever and very, very smart. 79 million devices have been used to help get these medals. 6 million mobile phones. What was it, 79 million what, Mel? Just help me.
Computers and pieces of...
laptops, all those sort of things, all put together, worked out how to get all the metals out of it, and there you go. You'll be hanging around your neck, shiny and worth a fortune.
So the Olympics are doing their part. The Olympic movement doing its part as far as recycling on the planet goes.
We've touched on a bit of your past commentary, Dits, and you've done some great work in the world of beach volleyball and rhythmic gymnastics and squash
all the big
and
sports.
canoeing and all that sort of stuff. Let's have a listen to a commentator talking about some of the swimmers.
It's your first Olympics, and you swam. Honestly, your third leg was just phenomenal.
Your third leg was phenomenal.
Now, she's a BBC lady called Claire Balding, and what happened was the Brits had just won the 4x200 men's relay, and they're all young boys, so the one she's talking to is 18, and she mentioned his third leg, and he just started giggling.
He lost it.
Yeah, so, us boys are a bit immature, but, it was a funny little moment.
Yeah, a little funny little moment.
Yeah.
There you
anyway,
go.
Plenty to talk about later on. I want to ask you about Kyle Chalmers later. I'm just so impressed with all of the Aussie athletes. I know you've already mentioned this, but I reckon we are showing the rest of the world what humility is all about. You can be a champion, and you can be a good champion and a nice one.
We weren't like that 5 years ago, were we?
No, but
everyone, a big change.
Everyone, whether they've been schooled on this or is it just natural or great parenting, but gee, they've been impressive. Kyle Chalmers last night.
Kyle's always been a great kid.
But after that would be the biggest disappointment in his life, you would think. And he spoke magnificently.
No.
It was so impressive. And we think back to Ash Barty, the way she conducted herself right through Wimbledon.
Yep.
It's just incredible that I think the Aussies, our young Australians, are leading the world in this.
Good on it. Whatever the reason, it's fantastic.
Have there been any highlights or lowlights on the show this week?
Well, we're in lockdown for a couple of days, weren't we? We've had a couple of lockdowns and a few out of lockdown.
Let's see what Sammy Morrison's managed to pick out of the show this week.
The top 5 things we've learned on Ruined Dits this week.
Number 5, we learnt about a race meet in Hahndorf on the weekend.
We're in lockdown, obviously, and It was pyjama day. We're just laying around the couch. Just out of the blue, Kate said, how about a little bit of a late afternoon cuddle?
Jockey Chris Ditbar is getting ready in the mounting yards for the Special Cuddles Cup.
I then said, I've just got to bet on this next race.
Oh,
That's all I said.
you idiot.
I've learned never, ever, ever say that. Well, I got hit by a hurricane. Said, look, it'll be 90 seconds.
Is that the race or your cuddle?
And unfortunately, we have a late scratching. Chris Ditbar is out of the Special Cuddle Cup.
Number 4.
Very good morning, Professor Nicola Spurrier. How are you?
Oh, very good, thank you.
We wrote Professor Nicola Spurrier a song.
We've put a song together about you.
Some call her a saint, some call her a queen. Just don't forget to sort your socks in quarantine.
My kids did show me this, and I just wanted to say it's one of my favourite songs.
Oh, there you go.
I'm really thrilled. One day I'll do karaoke for you.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Nicola. See you at the karaoke bar. Oh, that's right. They're shut, and it's illegal to sing.
We already have police officers on our checkpoints.
Number 3.
We learned that reading live reads
very
for clients can sometimes be tricky.
For over 40 years, Metro Waste have been recycling your rubbish.
Well, these guys take all commercial and residential waste.
Metro Waste, the happiest waste company in Adelaide.
Number 2. For a couple of days this week, the boys had to do the radio show from home.
After 9 o'clock this morning with Triple M's Home School of Rock. Ruined Its for breakfast on Triple M.
Time for us to go. We're a little bit clunky sometimes. We've got Mel in the studio. I'm in the hills. Rue's at Burnside. Alice is at Brighton or Hove. So we're all over the shop.
Everyone in different places.
Let's have a listen to the Channel 7 News Report.
My key problem at the moment is getting everybody from the Greek on Halifax.
Yep, definitely. Let's hear from Professor Nicola Spurrier about that situation.
She was in the news grab from Channel 7 we just played.
Thanks, Mel.
That's okay.
And we learned it's hard doing a radio show in 3 different places over a Zoom call.
10 to 15%. You could do anything, really. I think that's what he was saying. But anyway, thanks, Simon. Interesting point of view. There you go. Rue, there are loads and loads of theories out there.
If you like awkward silence and people talking over each other, you'll love Ruined Dits live from lockdown over Zoom.
Things we can bring the world population down 10-15%.
Oh, no.
Right.
You're
And he
saying
said-
he...
And he said that in the TED Talks.
Didn't he also predict in about 5 years ago that we would have a pandemic?
Yeah.
Let's get Premier Marshall on.
We have got this early enough. But sorry, go on.
You go.
Well, I was just saying
No, you go.
I'm reading a lot.
but I think they've got it. I think they've got it pretty right so far.
Then when they finally said goodbye to the Premier, I'm pretty sure they hung up on him.
Good on you, Premier. Thanks so much again. Very, very generous with his time, Rue. Our Premier, Stephen Marshall.
See you, Steve.
Number 1. The grumpy old men appear on the show once a week.
What's irking you boys at the moment, Reedy?
Complaining about stuff.
Yeah, mate, I tell you what hurts me.
And I learned grumpy old man Reedy is a bit of a broken record.
Why don't commentators be honest about an umpiring decision?
Let's go back to March 2020.
The one that really gets me, mate, is TV commentators for the footy back on. Why won't they actually have a crack at an umpire when he makes a terrible decision?
Let's try July 2019.
I know we've mentioned this before, but how long do we have to put up with every time the umpire bounces the ball and you bring it back in?
June 2020.
You know when you're a drug addict or you're an alcoholic, they got to accept that you got a problem and then you can start to get on with it.
Yep.
I want to know why the AFL can't accept that they got a problem with umpires.
Tuesday this week.
Until you admit you got a problem, you don't get better. And that's the reason umpires don't get better. They don't admit they got a problem.
Just a little bit of history repeating.
Anything else irking you, mate?
The other thing that irks me is the amount of time the umpires give the players to kick the ball.
Global pandemics, trouble accessing your superannuation.
Until they accept that there's a problem, they're not going to fix those rules. They're not going to fix the umpires.
He's definitely hung up on the umpires.
I honestly don't know how they run the umpire.
All right, Reedy, what's irking you this week?
What's irking you blokes at the moment, Reedy? You're usually pretty hot on this one.
Well, I'm still on the umpires.
The top 5 things we've learned on Ruined Dits this week.
Sammy Morrison, outstanding. Well done.
Well done. Sam.
Fantastic.
We have a new
awesome foursome.
It's super humble to be and be sitting in this fight that those legends have, beaten him before. You watch them racing when you're growing up, you get more involved in the sport, you see them win tight races in Atlanta and Barcelona, and you just want to be part of that history.
Roo, this is massive. The best thing to come out of the Riverland.
Yeah, Alex Hill, gold medalist on Triple M. Good morning, Alex.
Hi, boys. How you going?
Yeah.
What's the partying like in Tokyo? Pretty good. Have you had a bit of a crack?
Oh, yeah, no, we've had a little bit of a crack just with our crews that have all finished now, so we've had a bit of fun. It's been good.
Are you still in the Olympic Village?
We are, yeah, we're still in the Olympic Village now, so we got one more night here. We watched the eights come down the track today, and then we head back home tomorrow.
Fantastic, mate. Well done, everyone. I know it's all cliched, but it's true. We are all so proud, mate. When we see a local lad like you win a gold medal, you've got to understand people in lounge rooms all over Australia are just jumping up and down, mate. So just well done on behalf of everybody. I want to go right back to the start. I read this week where you're a young boy, you come down to PAC College and you weren't even into rowing. And you were on an ergo one day just doing some training and someone walked past and said, mate, you should be in the rowing team. Is that how it unfolded?
Yeah, mate, pretty much. Back in when I was at Loxton High School, we sort of did a bit of a come and try day of rowing, and I sort of did that for one day, and then so I sort of knew a bit about it. And then when I went down to PAC, my sister was actually rowing at the time as well. So when that coach he'd come and tap me on the shoulder and asked me to have a crack, I was like, yeah, sure. And it turned out it wasn't too bad, and here we are.
Well, I read an article the other day, Alex, just to do a little bit of prep. They said you're the best rower in the world, so you're not too bad.
That's
at it.
massive.
I don't know about that. Thanks, mate.
Hey, do you?
Sure.
This would be a funny question, but do you actually like it?
Yeah, no, I definitely enjoy it. No, I definitely enjoy it. So I wouldn't do it. And it's a fair bit of hard work like that. So if I didn't enjoy it, I definitely wouldn't be doing it. That's for sure.
Can I tell you, it's the worst piece of equipment in the gym. Do you find rowing as hard as we do, or not?
Ditch can't breathe. Give him a bit of advice. He reckons he can't breathe when he does it.
It used to be like that, but yeah, no, I suppose now I struggle bloody going for a run or something like that. I'd find the rowing machine easier.
Hey, Alex, I read that I don't think your parents have spent a birthday with you for 11 years or something like that, and the sacrifices you make. What would you like to say to your mum and dad who back in the Riverland?
Oh, mate, I wouldn't be able to do what I do without them. They mean absolutely everything to me. Obviously thank them for everything. I'm just absolutely looking forward to getting back and coming back and celebrating with them.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what about your family history? Sturt fans listening this morning will be absolutely pumped to know that Malcolm Hill is your grandfather. Gee, he went all right, didn't he?
Yeah, no, he was super pumped. I gave him a phone call, after the race and yesterday morning. He was absolutely over the moon. So, big. Can't wait to come back and see him as well, for sure.
So he played in a premiership at Hawthorn Roo in 1961 and then played in Three Flags for Sturt, when Sturt were just the absolute powerhouse.
We used to live and run the Berry pub, playing the flag up there, and then Sturt said, well, you better come down. I reckon you could play leave. You come down and play in a premiership for Sturt as well.
That's right.
How good's that? Right. What's going to come up for you? What plans you got in the next couple of weeks? What are the government looking at doing for the gold medalists? Have you got some big plans coming up?
Oh, mate, I'm not too sure. Not too sure at the moment. We've obviously got to head home and do our 2 weeks in quarantine. And then, hopefully I'll be able to head back into SA after that. So we fly into Sydney to do 2 weeks there, and hopefully I'll be able to come back into Adelaide. And I'm not 100% sure what's going on at the moment, but I think we're playing a bit by ear. But just trying to enjoy the moment, I suppose.
Silver in Rio, gold in Tokyo. The next Olympics, are you going to have a crack at that? You'll be 31-ish.
Yeah, well, it's only 3 years away, this one, so I'm not too sure. I think I'll take a little bit of time away and regather, but we'll see if we've got anything going for Paris.
Yeah. Alex, I hope this isn't a dumb question. I'm not sure. But how do you... I'm always fascinated to see, like you mentioned the eights before. So when we see the eights row, or in your case, the fours, how on earth do you go through the selection process? For example, how would they say, oh, that bloke out of South Australia, he'd be good in the number 3 seat. Or like, because when I watch it on TV as someone uneducated, you're all rowing in unison, you all look the same. How on earth do they select who would be good and who's a better rower than someone else?
So basically, we're all in our like pre-seasons. We're all in smaller boats, so we're in like singles and pairs. And so you've sort of got to select yourself off of a smaller boat as to where you kind of rank in the squad.
Yep.
And then sort of they'll have their like Rowing Australia will sort of choose what boats they kind of want to target or what boats they want to sort of put you in from there. And then you've got to sort of seat race your way into cruise, which is basically, like 3 or 4 races a day, swapping seats to then see sort of work out what margins are, who's beating someone in the seat, or who works best in what seat, or stuff like that. I mean, generally in a big boat, for instance, they'll have the bigger, taller guys, the bigger engine sort of sitting in the middle.
Yep.
Sort of being like the coal shovelers, I suppose. And the guys with a bit more finesse and a bit more touch, sort of on either ends of the boat.
Good stuff, mate. Hey, we had a look online at some photos of you. Geez, you're a bit of a chubby little fella. Have you seen those photos that are on the internet?
You're a porker.
What a cracking photo.
That's a good photo. I think that was a good photo up there. Last night, me in a jumper on my first day of school. That was a good one.
I think we're going to put that up on the Triple M socials. Absolute cracker. You've transformed your body shape brilliantly. So well done, mate. The whole South Australia is proud.
Brilliant.
The Riverland will be proud. Loxton North will be proud. And there's plenty of good little country people, boys and girls that are winning gold medals. It's a great lesson for anyone out there in the bush that you can be a world champion or a gold medalist from anywhere. Well done, mate.
Good on you, Alex.
Thanks, boys. Cheers.
Well done. Alex Hill, boy from the Riverland, has won gold in the 4s at the rowing. What a great story. Jess Fox, who won gold yesterday, and one of the real popular gold medals. Everyone seems to love her, and I've really enjoyed watching the slalom canoeing.
Well,
and the
she was
kayaking.
under enormous pressure earlier on when she missed that gold medal, but she's fought back hard. That takes a lot of mental toughness to do that.
Turns out she couldn't have won the gold medal if it wasn't for the condoms.
Yes.
In the Olympic Village.
Exactly right.
I don't know if you read about this, but she had to do some running repairs on her boat, and she held the boat together with a condom.
Yes.
Because boats these days are made of like Kevlar and graphite, those sorts of materials, and there must have been a little split. And last minute thinking, and makes me wonder why she had a condom in her handbag.
Oh, they got given them, Dits.
Yes, but why was it in her handbag at this? Anyway, that's for another conversation, another day.
It is.
What was she thinking of doing at the? What was she thinking of doing out there at the slalom
Just
track?
in case she had to fix her canoe.
Well, turns out it came in handy. So she got the condom out and wrapped it around the front of the boat, held it together. She's won a gold medal. How clever!
Outback the mechanics.
There you go. And it made us think. The inventiveness of our listeners. When have you, what do you call it, a life hack or something like that? When have you actually done something? And Sammy, our audio man, it's something very, very similar to the condom on the boat. What have you done, Sam?
He's been thrown into the studio. That's what's been happening.
Ditz asked me if I had a condom-related story, but I...
No, I didn't.
That's where the ring pull comes in.
So we were playing golf, and my friend was wearing thongs, which is obviously not great golf wear, but he had a blowout with the thong.
Oh, no.
And we had nothing. We were looking around, and we had some beers. We were drinking beers. We had the thongs. So I got the ring pull off the beer and tied it onto the bottom of the thong, fixed it.
Way.
Finished the 9 holes.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was a great day.
They reckon the other one is the, what do you call the
bread tag?
The bread tag, the clip at the top of a loaf of bread.
Yep.
You can fix your thongs with those.
Everyone knows how to fix their thongs because they're Aussies.
I used to, well, years ago, we used to use a safety pin, which worked, except sometimes the pin would come undone and then pierce you through the bloody foot.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But we used to stick a pin through it. Yeah. You can do paper clips through your thong as well.
Yep. Or I've tried with the lighter, you try and melt the rubber But you
What?
you end up just getting high off the fumes.
And just laying down.
And with a broken thong. Yeah. You're just tripping balls.
1-333-5-3. What's your little inventive
Running
fix?
repairs.
Yeah, running repairs. Have you used a condom to do anything else? 1-333-5-3. We've got a smart speaker to give away. You just have to say play Triple M Adelaide.
I want to know, for example, who was the first person that thought a coat hanger would work as your car aerial?
Oh, yes.
When you broke your aerial.
Or to break into your car when you've locked it.
Yeah.
Back in the old days.
Yeah. Who are these inventive people? Olympian Jess Fox had to do running repairs on her boat. This is in the canoe yesterday, and she used a condom to hold the front of the boat together, and it worked. She won the gold medal.
Very clever work by the Fox.
Bit of MacGyver about it.
Yeah.
Did she love boats? And you had probably the boat in your last trip. I was in a boat with my best mate, who's very much a handyman. We had a split hose, which I think you had something like that, didn't you?
Yep.
So he pulled the hose off, and we were drinking VB at the time, cut the ends off both ends of the can, put that over the pipe, and fixed it. And we kept skiing all day.
You're joking.
With a VB can.
Really?
Yeah, it worked a treat. So you can use your brain for different things, especially when you've had enough VB. Your mind runs wild. Let's go to McGill. G'day, Dags.
G'day, boys. How are we?
Good. What have you fixed?
Back in the late 80s, I had a HT Holden, and I had a pinhole in the fuel tank, and the guy I was with at the time was eating chewing gum, and we used that to block the hole.
Yeah.
And I reckon for probably 6 months I drove around eating chewing gum until I got to the records.
Well done, Dags. And it did the job.
Sorry?
And it did the job.
It did the job, absolutely.
Well
I had
done.
to change it probably once a week. I had to change the chewing gum over.
Good on you, Dags. Well done. Let's go to the Barossa. Paul, what have you fixed, and how'd you do it?
Okay, boys. We had an Australia Day barbecue at the one day cricket a few years ago. Went on, and no one brought the egg flip, so I had my steel ruler in my work bag. We fashioned an egg flip out of a solo can.
A solo can.
Cut the ends off it and squashed him down. And
that was your egg flip.
How Australian.
Well done.
Beautiful,
I like
ball.
These are the stories we want. Olympian Jess Fox won a gold medal, but her boat was held together with a condom.
How
She-
Australian
running
is
repairs
that?
before the final.
Yeah, what's your quick fix? Let's go to Sandy Creek. Donna, what have you fixed?
Well, years ago in Alice Springs, we used to have pantyhose left in our toolbox. So if you ever broke a fan belt, you could use the pantyhose.
Yes, I remember
You're joking.
those. Yep.
Yeah, so-
Actually, Donnie, you've just reminded me, my dad sometimes, in the old days where every wine bottle had a cork in it, and sometimes you'd break the cork and there'd be all bits. So he'd get my mum's pantyhose, her stockings, and we'd filter the wine through the stockings.
Yes, that's happened.
Yeah. So they come in handy, Donna.
Absolutely. Not many people wear them these days, though.
No. Let's go to Gola. Michael, what have you fixed?
Hey, boys. Do you remember at the petrol station when they used to have the little tab that would hold the trigger down so you could fill up without putting your hand on it?
Yeah, they were the days.
Then they got rid of it, and I had this old car, never a high-flow diesel, so I thought the fuel cap come off on that car, and you can actually put it between the handle and the trigger, and it holds it obviously down.
That's good till you forget.
But it still clicks off, just like
Does
they used to.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still got the thing, when you fill up, and it's almost full, and it clicks. It's exactly
I only thought of this the other day. I wanted to fill up, and I was messing around with the little trigger thing, but they don't exist anymore, obviously.
Hey, let's go to Huntfield Heights. G'day, George.
How you going, all right?
Good, George. What are you fixed?
Yeah, I had an XD Falcon when I was younger, and it was an old piece of shit. And the heater started leaking all inside the car, so I had to cut the hose, and I got a stick off the side of the road, shoved it in there, tightened the hose up around it, and that kept me running until I took it to the dump.
Good on you, George.
Well done.
Good stuff. Let's
Very
go
resourceful.
to let's go to Naracoorte. What are you fixed, Wendy?
Well, on the way to Adelaide at Kerman-Duke, stopped to help a lady who had been rammed in the back of her car, and it was undrivable. And we tried to work out how we could put the boot down again so that she could continue on to Adelaide. The funny story was, boys, we did ring her husband who was at the races at Victor Harbour, and he said, she'll be right, just keep driving.
In other words, do not bother me.
And we couldn't find anything long enough, but then I decided that because I'm a voluptuous girl, I had an oversized pair of undies in my case.
Oh, no.
And we tied the boot down.
With your undies?
Yeah.
And it worked.
And it worked.
Well
Good on you, Wendy.
Actually, a few weeks later, I did receive a parcel in the mail, but it wasn't. It was 5 pairs of size 12, so I don't know what she was looking at, really.
She was just being nice to you. Good on you, Wendy.
Well done, Wendy.
I think we better give Wendy a smart speaker, don't you think? It's,
Yeah, for a couple of reasons. For stopping and helping for a start,
Yes.
which is great, and then being resourceful.
And then for going free bagging for the rest of the day.
I think they might have been a spare pair.
Oh, she had a spare pair.
Yeah, I don't think she got undressed on the side of the road.
Oh, you never know.
Oh, hello on this Friday morning. Roo, in this hour, we're going to talk about the situation in Sydney because it's affecting all of us. It's affecting Australia. 239 cases yesterday.
It's getting bigger.
And they refuse to conform, really.
No.
Now, what can you tell me about Qantas?
Oh, they just say Qantas have come out and said that you're going to have a like a digital passport with you, to show that you've been vaccinated, what type of vaccine, when you've had a negative test. This is all for international flights.
Yep.
May well be for domestic as well. I mean, there's going to be no one flying out of Sydney to any state anytime soon.
No. So this is growing, isn't it? The fact that the world wants people to have a vaccination passport.
We've heard about it for the AFL football, with the music industry on its knees. They might be able to get back playing to live events if they show that when you go into events. There's so many events that are on, anything where people have got to go, where there's crowds, they're going to need it. So you are, you can feel that in 6 to 12 months' time, you will be the odd man out if you don't have the vaccine.
Yep, Sydney just aren't getting this right at the moment, and it's bringing us down as a nation. Hey, just a couple of Olympics tidbits that I've got for you. There's a fella who follows the world of table tennis around, would you believe? His job, he's a full-time international table tennis commentator. He's known as the Snake Man.
I don't know if Sweat Squad was called. Yep. Oh, yeah. When you see and sweat and it don't feel good, who you going to call? The Sweat Squad.
Well, when you're playing table tennis, if sweat gets
there was
on
sweat
the
on the
floor
table.
or something.
There was sweat on the table, I think, and they had to come and wipe it down. But this guy, he's actually a worldwide phenomenon. People tune into his commentary because he's very, very funny and very colourful.
Probably need that in table tennis.
You do. Now, what about our very own Basil? As we know, Zach Stubblety Cook won the breaststroke yesterday. This is Basil's take on it.
Gold to Zach Stubblety Cook in the 200 breaststroke. We can all go gobbledygook for Zach Stubblety Cook.
Hey, Basil.
Well done, Baz. In a moment, Roo, I want to ask you, what is a gold medal worth? What should we be paying our gold medalists? Because this varies around the world. We'll get to that next. Roo and Ditz on Triple M. Roo, I've got a question for you. What's a gold medal worth? Now, I've asked Alice and Tom to come in because they're a lot younger than us, and I want to get varying views on this from different people. But we all sit in our lounge rooms at the moment, and we do it every 4 years, and we cheer like buggery, and we love Aussies winning gold medals. So Ariane Titmus, and name any of them, Jess Fox. Now, I'm led to believe, in fact, I've got it in front of me, our Aussie athletes get $20,000 for winning a gold medal. I presume from the government. I don't know where else it comes from, but I would presume, from the Sports Commission or something. $11,000 for a silver, $7,000 for a bronze. If you are from Singapore, you get $1 million for winning a gold medal. You get $370,000 for a silver, $184,000 for a bronze. We heard a story earlier this week, the weightlifter from the Philippines, their first gold medal, I think, in 92 years. Or something like that. $600,000 in 2 houses. Was that right?
Yeah, 660 in 2 houses, yeah.
It makes me think, though, if you're from Singapore, you can probably say, we'll give you $10 million because no one's going to win a gold medal. So that's why they can go that high. But seriously, what is a gold medal worth when you look at the effort they put in, the fact that we want them to win, we're disappointed when they don't win, and they devote their whole life to being an Olympian? Do you say, well, bad luck, you chose that? Or do we say, no, we should be giving them $500,000 for a gold medal? What do you think about it,
It's a tough question, isn't it? Because you got the 100-metre sprint in the athletics, or you've got the skateboarder. And I don't put them on a level playing field, to be quite honest. So I don't think you can just say $1 million
across the board.
Could you have it tiered for different events? then you'd get all the speculation, and you'd be done for being, discriminating against different sports.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you can. I don't think you can have $1 million for a skateboarder and $1 million for, say, if Cole won yesterday in the Premier swimming event.
Why is that though? Do you think that they do less training, or you just think the sport's not as good?
A heap less training. Yeah. And no one really cares if you're a skateboarder compared to a swimmer. Like the amount of eyeballs on the 100-metre event compared to the eyeballs on... I think it's all about eyeballs. That's the way footballers are paid. That's the way I think tennis players should be paid. That's the way why netballers aren't paid, unfortunately. That's just reality. How many people are interested in the sport is dictated to how much you get paid.
But then again, I agree with what you're saying there, Roo. But Jess Fox to me yesterday was outstanding. I think she should be paid, but no one watches slalom canoeing either.
But did anyone? And no, this is no disrespect to Jess Fox at all. I didn't even know her name. 2 weeks ago.
Fair point.
Did you know her name, Tom?
No, I didn't.
Did you, Alice?
Yeah, I did.
All right, Alice, what's your take on this? What should we pay a gold medalist?
I think they actually should be paid more than that. I think it is such a huge sacrifice of their lives. It's not just at the moment they're training really hard and that's their job. But I was speaking to Jared, who works here, and he used to be an amazing gymnast. And he said he had to make the call when he was going into high school, whether he pursued it or whether he didn't. And if he did pursue it, he would have had to go to a different school. He would have probably lost all his friends. He would have trained twice a day. And it would have completely affected his life.
And consumed his life.
Every aspect.
Yep.
It's not just, he's at the Olympics right now, so he's working hard. And I think they have such a short period of time for most of these sports where they can earn a lot of money because it's based on your body. And so in 5 years, they're not going to be able to do it. So it's kind of like they've sacrificed their whole lives for such a short period of time. And also, you've got to add into it, they now come back and they can't go to a cafe without people taking their photo, which just kind of adds to it. And you think of the bonuses that football clubs do. If you win a B&F, for example, a lot of local footy clubs give you a bonus. It should be the same for Olympics.
All right, well done. Tom, what do you think?
I think the key difference with like footy and like the Olympics is if it's the government's paying for it. Because like the footy, you can't really, like the AFL, they earn that money through,
television
it's not the taxpayers' money, you know what I mean? But when you talk about eyeballs, the Olympics, the whole nation was watching them.
Yeah.
Which is even more than with AFL. Obviously, it's only 1 through 4 years. So I think it determines how much does that really value that as a country. We really
So is 20
them.
grand enough, or is that just some token little gesture?
It is token. It's really a token, isn't it? But
it's an interesting point that Tom makes there because you've got the footballers go on eyeballs, all right? We said that. And we've got eyeballs on the Olympics, but there's no athletics association. Like we've got the Players Association and the AFL, butting heads about 23%, 21%, which equals billions of dollars. Who's going out to bat for the skateboarders and the canoers?
Well,
and
when
the
you
swimmers?
represent us at the Olympics, the Australian Sports Commission and the Australian Olympic Committee oversee all of that. But that money actually does come from the government. It's taxpayer money.
Yeah, but I know then that might be funding the sports and funding the Institute of Sport and all that sort of stuff, but some of that should be going back to the athletes because that's what happens in other cricketers, footballers. That's where they get their money from. So,
and think of a list of all the stuff the government spends money on that just goes under the table you don't even hear about, which is so stupid compared to what the Olympics is doing for our country at the moment. I think it's a pretty big thing.
I guess the difference is like it's deciding whether to spend that money on like a hospital or roads or anything. But with footballers, it's not really they get paid or the hospital. More money for the hospital.
So others are missing out. Yeah. Well put. No, some good points of view there.
God, your producers are smart.
Just quickly, so Singapore's about $1 million, Brazil $50,000, Japan $45,000. The US, I'm surprised at this. Theirs is $37,500. I thought they'd be bigger because they love their sports people. Kazakhstan $250,000, Malaysia $235,000, and on it goes. We pay $20,000. What do you think about this?
Go to Para Hills. What do you think, Lee?
Well, you guys are both top of your field in your selected sport, and you guys train as hard as each other. So what's that a skateboarder isn't training as hard as a canoer? You mean like you both put in hundreds of hours of training each week, So why should they get paid any less? Skateboarding's a new sport to the Olympics. That's why it's not as watched.
Oh, and skate. You know what I mean? Don't worry, my lads in the skateboard. Skateboarders skateboard all day, every day. They actually do train.
they put a lot of time in.
non-stop. So I was trying to use an example of a little-known sport, or even breakdancing or something like that. But they train. But how many people like watching them, I guess, compared to some of the bigger events. But you're right, Lee, absolutely right. 133353, give us a call. Should the athletes be paid more for winning medals at the Olympics?
Just going off on a tangent, Roo, we've discussed this before about, female AFL players don't get the same as male AFL players and so on. And you mentioned it before, it's bums on seats and it's eyeballs. So if TV ratings go through the roof, then AFL players command money. And it's not about females, because I've given you the example. If Adele sells out Adelaide Oval and 60,000 people go and see her, which they did, then she should get paid for that.
But I still think there should be, a decent minimum amount as well, though, even if the eyeballs aren't there. Go to Haybury. G'day, Glenn. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, obviously, good morning all, and have a happy Friday. It's a little bit tight. I'd say I would have expected it to be at least about $100,000. My opinion would be, obviously, it's not the only money that they're going to receive. So, obviously, Fitness is getting money from Harvey Norman. So, there's obviously a lot of opportunity in sponsorship. And not to mention, like, keynote speakers after that, speaking about winning gold. I've been to many of Kerry Potthouse's, keynote speaks. So, there's plenty of opportunity for money in and around just being there at the game.
There's not a lot for a lot of them, though. Like we're talking,
there's a
we're
select
probably
few.
talking 1%.
Yeah, I think so.
Like when, even Cole.
But you were mentioning the skateboarders. There is some really high sponsored skateboarders around.
There are.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess.
So we're talking about gold medalists. What should we pay them? Because we give them $20,000 here in Australia. Like, I'll pluck a name, Roo. Simon Fairweather. Do you remember him?
He was an archer.
That's right. Won a gold medal. How much money do you reckon he's made? I would hazard a guess he's made nothing compared to Ariane Titmus, who I think will make a lot of money. And as Glenn just said, she's got her Harvey Norman ads that we're seeing. So it's not across the board.
She wouldn't be getting much for that, unfortunately. She might get a lot more now. But let's go to...
what should we pay our gold medalists?
Let's go to Bree. Where are you from, Bree?
Plimpton Park.
Where's that?
Next to Plimpton.
Yeah, Plimpton Park.
Plimpton. I'm sorry. I'm reading the screen. I thought you said Flinton Park. I hadn't heard of that one before.
I just made it up.
Just near Plimpton East and Plimpton North and Plimpton South.
Close to Plimpton, believe it or not.
There it is. Righto, Bree. What would you like to say?
Well, I mean, 20K isn't really enough, in my opinion. I was a swimmer growing up, so it's 2 hours before school, it's 2 hours after school, and before you make it to those levels, you got to reach into your own pocket. Our parents, they put a pool in our backyard because we grew up in the country, so we could train in the mornings. The amount of money they put in, and look, we didn't make it, obviously.
Well, don't give up yet, Bree.
It's something where it's just something where 20K isn't really enough.
Nah.
They pay people in Singapore $1 million because they don't get as many medals.
That's
so I'm not saying that they should get $1 million because we'd go broke as a country.
Yeah.
But something reasonable compared to what the US is doing. That 50K mark is pretty good for a goal.
Where did you grow up, Bree?
Horsham, Victoria. Don't hold it against me.
Nah, good little town. Thanks for calling us. Let's go to Narracourt. Daryl, should we be paying our medalists more?
G'day, mate. How are you?
Good, Daryl.
That's the go, guys. I'm the opposite to a athlete. I drive a truck and sit on my backside and I was just as muffin.
You're an armchair critic.
Yes. I don't know what you'd call me. But I just think that you have a look at, say, an Ash Barty. I know she got knocked out by a player that absolutely no one knew.
Yep.
But she gets paid millions.
Yeah, I don't think she needs the money.
Yeah, so, and then you have a look at a swimmer who probably hasn't got the lifespan of a tennis player. You have a look at Rafael Nadal and Federer. They play, and Serena Williams, they play nearly into their 40s, and they're just loaded. It's not like they need.
Their sports, they can make plenty of money, but swimming, there's no money outside of the Olympics, is there, for the tournaments?
Yeah, so, and the hard knocks, I think they take, and then they get to shine once, every 4 years?
Every 4 years, yep.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. Good on you, Daryl. Thanks for that. That's our second call from Narracourt this morning. We're big in Narracourt.
They're probably on the listener app. Let's go to Achunga. G'day, Dave. What's your thoughts on paying for medals?
G'day, guys. I think it's a tough one to put a price on, and then I think you have the argument: is Ariana's gold worth more than Fox's gold because the prestige of the sport?
Yeah.
But I mean, what would they go for if they were auctioned off, kind of thing? Maybe that's the price point.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, 20k. I mean, that's probably just a big weekend when they get back for some of these athletes.
I think you're right, Dave.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
They look pretty chunky. Maybe they can meld them down and sell them to Shields for a bit of extra coin.
There you're talking, Dave.
Good on you, Dave.
Good stuff. All right. Well, very different, big difference.
I actually don't know what's right and what's wrong.
No, I don't know.
Can I tell you, just quickly, so we know a girl who played hockey for Australia. Now, imagine you join the Institute of Sport when you're about 17, goes all the way through, retired, didn't go to these Olympics, she retired because she's turned 30 and she's got nothing. She said, I've just given my whole life so far to the sport, loved it, got to go to the Olympics. But then there'll be people listening saying, but she chose to do that. And I understand that too. But there's a girl who, as I said, we love it when they win. We want to cheer them on in our lounge room. We want them to win gold. But then at the end of it, they'll all turn 30 and they won't have anything in the bank account.
But she hasn't got anything in the bank account, but she's got a lot outside of that. If you measure it in money, she hasn't got a lot. But the experience,
But she's behind the eight ball about buying a house and, doing all those things that other people do. So I can really, really see both sides of it,
Yep.
Please welcome to Triple M's Ruined Hits for breakfast, Amos Gill.
Gilly, now we've just done 7 days of quarantining lockdown. How many have you done?
I've done 4 weeks.
Oh my God.
and I'm back. I tell you, when you do that much solitary sort of confinement, when they said, you can go out now, I didn't.
Yeah?
Don't want up to cars. I was
Didn't
on
know where to go.
Man, I went on South Road
they call it,
for 5 minutes on South Road, and I was like, I'm good at home. Everything's delivered. I also, last time with the first lockdown, I ripped my dunny out, my toilet, and I renovated my bathroom.
Right.
This time, just before we had the next lockdown, I ripped my kitchen out. So
Oh, no.
had no kitchen for 4 weeks. Look, I've been going over the news. It seems like everyone's having a hard time of life at the moment. That's the news that I'm reading.
Yep.
Holly Madison, do you know who Holly Madison is?
No.
She was Hef's number one wife near the end there. Do you remember her? She was on the show.
Hugh Hefner.
Hugh Hefner's wife.
Now I know.
Yeah, Holly Madison has come out and said.
How many did he have?
How many did he have? Oh, I know he used to have 3 at a time. That used to be the system there. And Holly was the main one. She was always my pick, Holly Madison. I liked her. She was good, Holly. And she's come out as a playgirl and said that in her time, when she was in that house, she had body dysmorphia. That's what she said. Well, you're not able to identify, that what a good body is. Like you might have a good body, but you feel enormously fat or something.
Oh, that's
and it's like it's not exactly news,
I
though,
think
is it?
I've got that.
You've got that.
I think so.
What body do you think you've got, Dick?
I think I've got an incredible body, but apparently it's not.
Well, it's just a sort of big potato, your body. But I don't think you need to come out and say that you have a tough time identifying what a good-looking body is when you've been shagging a 90-year-old man. You're clearly not too
can't
good.
see you anyway. His eyes are gone.
That's the biggest dysmorphia of all, is thinking that here's something okay. I want to get to the Olympics. Jess Fox, as far as a good story, she's my absolute number one athlete. I don't know, who are you guys gravitating to? What's your story? Because I followed her the whole way. I was devastated when she got the bronze. Good to see her come and get the gold.
I agree.
She was my number one.
Stubbledy Cook, just for his name.
I've loved Ariane. I've loved Kyle Chalmers. But I agree. Jess Fox, brilliant.
I couldn't believe how much I was into that. My girlfriend and I both.
love watching it.
Yeah, we chucked it on. I love that.
I want to go and do it.
I think it's my favourite one of all. Oi, if we should open one of those, if that was open to the public,
it would be
$25 a ride, that would be non-stop.
You know what would happen? You'd do it once and you'd be drowned, you idiots. You reckon you can canoe like that?
Where the brewery is. Where the brewery was.
What time did Dit say that? That was 7:46.
I want a slightly bigger boat.
30 seconds said he wants to go and do that. You can't even swim. You fall out, you're gone.
He's a buoyant man, Dit, though. He pops straight back up.
Oh, that would be so hard.
But the thing I liked about Jess is I started researching and I started following on her on the social media, which I think you should do.
Because she's good looking or because she's a canoer?
No, because she's a champion. My girlfriend and I both followed at the same time. There was nothing sus about it, okay?
Yeah.
And did you know that she used a condom
Yeah.
to fix the kayak?
Yeah.
I thought that was incredible. I saw the video where she pulls it over, and after I looked at that, I thought, well, that's the last time a man can use the excuse, oh, condoms just don't fit me. I'm like,
That's right. It's called safe canoeing.
There's no doubt about it, though. When she used the condom and she went down, it would have felt a lot better to win the gold without the condom on. But
just didn't have the same feeling.
She was ecstatic to win the gold, but she was like, it was just a little unnatural feeling.
Don't know how to explain the feeling.
Would have been good if right near the end she just ripped it off, and the judge was like, "Oi!"
The memory's a bit rubbery.
Now, I want to talk about Simone Biles because I'm not in the media. I don't have
gymnast?
a job. Yeah, the gymnast.
American gymnast.
The greatest gymnast ever. And the person I was almost most looking forward to seeing in the games. That's why I'm disappointed. She's a freak and one of the most talented athletes I've ever seen. And obviously she pulled out. And I can understand why she pulled out. This is the thing. I don't begrudge her from pulling out whatsoever. If you've got the yips in a sport like gymnastics, okay, and you're feeling off, you kill yourself getting the flips wrong. No doubt about that. I was upset as a fan that she didn't compete, okay, and she pulled out on the team and all that kind of stuff. And that was fine. And my initial feeling was, that's sad because she can't cement herself as like this dynastic gymnast. And then I'm looking in the media and I'm thinking, and this is why I feel so weird. Why am I so out of step with even my own generation? I'm 30, okay, and I feel like a 7-year-old man because I'm like, I don't want to have a go at Simone Biles, but why the celebration that this is people are saying this is the bravest thing ever, this is an inspiration, oh, this is one of the great Olympic moments. I watched it. It was a terrible Olympic moment. I thought the poor girl can't compete. It's not like she felt crap, went away, had a pep talk, came back out and won. What now? It's like Naomi Osaka, she pulls out because she can't do the press conferences and stuff.
What are you saying should have happened?
Well, I was thinking about it and I went, why do I feel so weird about it? I don't want to attack Simone, but I don't like our society getting this so soft in a way where it's like we hold up people who are having their worst day. Don't attack people on their worst day. But I saw Bruce McAvaney showing highlights of the 92 games where I've written his name down, Derek Redmond, the guy that broke the hamstring, smashed his hamstring out and he limped to the line. Immense amounts of pain, but he got to the finish despite his struggles and his dad was pulling him over the line. And I went, that makes me feel something. I felt no inspiration watching Simone Biles go through a tough time.
So what if she come back and competed after everyone knew it, and even if she didn't do a great job, then would celebrate her pushing through it potentially?
Correct. Pushing through adversity is what makes it good, okay? I'm in the business of stand-up comedy. A lot of us are deeply depressed, but we have to get up there and have fun. Okay, but if during the Fringe I walked out on stage and got 2 gags in and said I'm suffering depression, I don't feel like laughing, I'm not a legend. Don't attack me, but it's not inspirational.
Give me my money back.
I know, Simone Biles said, this
Gilly.
isn't fun anymore. Well, you know, coming up early in the morning to do your show isn't exactly fun, but I need the money. Okay? I push through because I'm a pro.
All right, get out of here, Gilly. Now we're sacking you. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Amos Gill.
It's 5 to 8 with Ru and Dits for breakfast on Triple M. Just a quick text on 04885 1047. We've had a text. I don't have a name here, but you Dits thinking you should just jump into the canoeing. They said Dits can't even drive his boat.
There's no side thrusters on a canoe, Dits.
Are there?
Yeah, I am going to. We got to get you doing it. Let's get you doing it.
I love the sport. I really do.
You might not love it
watching
after you go down there once. I think it might be a fraction harder.
You know when you upturn or whatever they call that, does someone come out and right you again? Bring you back up? That's the bit that scares me.
Just leave him there a little bit longer and then we'll save him right there.
Alice the Wagru has gone viral. What's happened?
What have you done, Alice?
Of all the reasons I could go viral, this is probably the most embarrassing and probably the one I really thought wouldn't go viral.
You serious? I reckon $1.05 in a bookmaker for you doing something
So
like
in
this.
lockdown last week, you sent out a TikTok video, I think, every day, didn't you?
Yeah, I was just so bored living in a unit by myself, just looking for some kind of entertainment. And
so what's happened?
You put up a TikTok and sometimes like one video got 200 views. Like sometimes you just get nothing. And I put up one last night because something happened to me and it's growing by thousands of views every minute. It's up to 41,000 views.
41,000?
Yeah.
Are you nude or something?
It's a bit sexual though. This is what I put up. What is the most awkward thing you've ever said in your whole life? Because I just said mine then. I just went in to get a full body massage and in front of a whole waiting room, I've handed over my card, I'm getting ready to go in and I say, does that full body massage include head? And everyone just looked at me. One guy was drinking water and started coughing. Like I meant a head massage, like a temple rub.
Oh, you are the best.
And 40,000 people have had a look at that.
Yeah, it's...
So you want a head
going.
massage?
Yeah, because you're looking there and the list is like head, neck, shoulders. So I asked for a full body and then I just wanted to make sure because sometimes they don't give you the temple rub at the end.
Right.
I just wanted to make
temple
sure.
rub.
Surprised that you did something like that. I'm absolutely shocked.
I just
would
wanted
never
to
have thought
sink
that was
into
going
the
to happen.
ground. It was... And then I didn't relax during the massage because it's all I thought about the whole time was just this
So
girl's
now you
face.
need another massage to get over the massage.
Yeah. Now I'm TikTok
See?
famous. I need to
TikTok,
get sponsored.
it's not good for you.
Well done, Wag. 41,000
I
hits.
had to text my mum this morning and be like, "Hi, Mum. Good news, I've gone viral. Bad news is I'm talking about something fairly rude." So,
Sydney are just getting this whole thing wrong, aren't they?
Well, they just can't control it, can they? It's just too big and too populated, and they didn't lock down early enough, and people aren't following the rules, unfortunately.
Nah, well, they're too stupid. That's what the problem is, Roo. So we keep saying how good we are at it here, and I think we are. We went into lockdown. We did it right. 7 days, we come out of lockdown. You look around the streets, everyone's wearing a mask. In Sydney, they are doing the absolute opposite. Now, I had to speak to a friend yesterday in Sydney, and he is just livid. He said, we've got that many dumb people here that won't listen, think they know better, turn up to protest, just, put us all at risk. And now they're going into 4 weeks of lockdown. Driving in this morning, I heard this bus driver call into the overnight program.
I'm a bus driver in southwestern Sydney, and I just wanted to say that we still don't have screens in our buses. We're a year and a half into this pandemic, and we're still driving around in these hotspots, and I can touch just about every person that gets on my bus. I'm trying to get the passengers to wear their mask correctly. We have a lot of people that have it under their nose, under their chin. I demand that they put it on correctly, which they do. They walk past me, they sit down, they put it under their chin. They walk past me with it off their face.
She went on to say that she's now getting to bus stops and saying to people through the doors, please put a mask on. Yeah. And they say no, she just drives on. And good on her, rightly so. Roo, the reason I'm talking about Sydney is they have the potential to drag us all down. It's a big economy.
Massive economy, the biggest economy in Australia. It will drag us down, let alone outbreaks coming across the border.
That's right.
Which you'd think would have to, it's going to be very, very hard to stop if they can't get on top of it in the next 6 months.
They're just dumb over there. Just not doing the right thing.
Definitely dumb people. So we did it right, thank God, and we need to keep doing it right in the future. So, thank God we're in Adelaide.
Celebrities.
Kim Kardashian is back on the dating scene.
Influencers.
Instagram, Triple M Adelaide page, whatever that means.
He's got his ear to the ground.
Got a bit of celebrity news for you.
It's time for Chris Dittmar's
OMG
Celebrity News.
Right, I've now been compared to Carson Kressley.
Who's Carson Kressley?
Oh, the big Hollywood celebrity goss man. This is just growing legs. It really is. Now, I'm going to start off with The Bachelor. I said to you earlier, seriously, who around at Channel 10 thought it was a good idea to put this show on up against the Olympics? Not one person is watching it.
No, they'll
someone's been
get
sacked.
Any bonuses,
someone's been sacked around at Channel 10 over this.
Yep.
Imagine launching the biggest show of your year and you take on the Olympic Games. You fool. Anyway, Jimmy Nicholson, who we met here, 2 weeks ago, he sounded like a good lad, The Bachelor.
Oh, The Batch.
We had a chat to him.
Yeah.
He's not happy. Now, who would have thought that selective editing would happen in a reality TV show? Yes, he said, I've been stitched up by the producers. We haven't heard that before.
No.
Have we?
No.
Anyway, he's been made out to be a serial pasher.
No, bear in mind, I only ever kissed one girl per day, and it looks like there's a lot going on. But that was filmed over multiple days, all right?
So apparently when it goes to air, he's kissing like 4 girls in one show.
Oh.
And everyone's, because all the women are up in arms going,
how could he do that?
You just throw yourself
You're
about.
using them.
And he's saying, look, I'm only kissing one girl per day. He's got 23 to
put
get
himself
through.
on rations.
So 23 days in a row, he's tonguing off some bird.
You don't want to end up with Pash Rash, do you?
Well, he's going to. So anyway, selective editing. Who would have thought? Now, I told you the good goss coming out of Farmer Wants a Wife. Farmer Will.
Yeah.
This is a juicy story.
Going up the duff.
The reunion's coming up. So what he did, if you've missed it, Farmer Will, who chose Jamie, the Canadian girl, to be his wife in Farmer Wants a Wife, turns out he's jumped the fence and he wants someone else's farmer's wife.
Another paddock.
That's right. He did. And he's got the girl pregnant. Her name's Hayley. He's come out, and anyway, since finding out she's pregnant, he's dumped her. He's given her the don't come Monday. So he's ruthless.
Was it as brutal as that?
I think so. So my, little celebrity goss people tell me. So I do my homework. But he's released a statement because everyone's jumping into him. And he goes, a wolf does not concern himself with the opinions of sheep. What does that mean? If that's not cryptic and deep, I don't know what is. Mel, you're looking at me puzzled here. What on earth is he talking about?
I don't have a clue
No.
either.
Keep it simple, mate. Just say I dumped her, I don't like her.
I don't give a crap what anyone says.
In some ways, is it insinuating that he's the sort of top dog, like the wolf over the sheep, like they're the stronger one?
Yeah.
Or is it just there's a lot of sheep, a lot of opinions out there? Or
Well, and sheep, just follow each other, don't they? I don't know what he's trying to say. It's a bit deep for me.
I liked him on the show.
He was the best one, according to my wife and all her friends. But he's
had a bad off-season.
Yes, very bad off-season. Hey, I'm going to move on.
Farmer might need a PR agent.
There's a new show. Now, Roo, you're having too much to say in my segment, by the way.
Oh, sorry, Dad.
Yeah, too many funny
It's a
lines.
bit like
from you.
Roo's News when you jump in and say, "Dits."
Yeah, well, it's very competitive here. Hey, the Olympic coverage, I think, has been fantastic. I love it. It's very hard to get it right when you've got so many.
Since they kicked you off, haven't they?
Sorry? Yeah, it's just taken right off. But I think it's good. It's hard to please everyone. You can't get it right all the time. However, the Aussie musos are up in arms. All of these out-of-work musicians and all of our great bands around Australia have had a crack at Channel 7, and Channel 7 are going to agree to this. They've said, we want more Aussie music, please. When you're using your highlights packages and you're playing music in and out of ad breaks, we want more Aussie music, and Channel 7 have said, yep, you're right, we'll do that for you.
Okay.
All right? A lot of out-of-work musicians, Roo, in Australia at the moment.
But they're not going to get paid for that. They just
you get
promotion.
royalties. No, when your music's used, you get royalties.
Rats and mice, wouldn't it?
It is rats and mice, but it's still, it's helping. It all helps.
Yeah, it all helps.
Rather use that than, some rapper from America we've never heard of. And just finally, the worst actor ever to come out of Hollywood's having his birthday today.
I'll be back.
If you're having a birthday today,
how dare you?
You share it with. I thought I'd get a bite. You share it with Arnie.
That is ridiculous.
He is awful.
Oh.
No, he is the worst I've ever seen earn money out of acting.
You don't have that many successful movies unless you're a great actor.
What was his best movie?
Oh, where do you start?
What, Twins?
Twins?
Gee, he was a good actor in
Terminator? That was unbelievable.
Come on. Anyway.
The list goes on.
That's my celebrity goss for today.
The Bulldogs take on the Crows tomorrow afternoon. You'll hear it live here on Triple M at what time?
Early start, 11:50 on Triple M. Yeah.
Sounds like the B grade. But
get up and get into it, Roo.
It's the early game. They're talking wind and rain at Ballarat, but that doesn't matter. It's a good way to play footy. If you know it's going to be wet, it's predictable. You just got to win the ball, kick it as long as you can, compete, crumb it and do the same thing again. A bit of skill comes out of the game and you just got to get bruised and battered. And that's what Matty Nix has been talking about. So they're the top side, the Western Bulldogs, probably premiership favourites, you would think, and the Crows right down the other end of the ladder. But I think they could mix it with them if they have a crack. It's Nick Murray back in. Certainly he'll play back there for Frampton, and young Rowie will come into the forward line. I think they'll give him a crack. Don't think they can be good enough. Bontempelli, I saw him play a game in the wet here against Port Adelaide a couple of years ago. Best wet weather footballer I've seen, I reckon. Nick,
so what do you do with him then, Roo?
Oh, they might try and tag him. I don't know who they'll put on him. Maybe Schomburg's been doing a bit, but he's probably 4 inches shorter than him. So, but in the wet, that might not matter too much. I think the Dogs will win, but I just hope the Crows have a genuine 4-quarter crack like they did against Hawthorn last week. Port Adelaide are taking on GWS, who are going pretty good in the second half of the year, and they get their inspirational captain back, Toby Green. Now, this is up at Metricon Stadium, up in the sun, and this is where GWS have been for a few weeks, so they should be nice and used to the weather up there. Port Adelaide play well up there as well. I think they've just about won every game they've played there, probably because it's against Gold Coast every time.
That helps.
But Port Adelaide getting all their stars back. This is a good test for them. Port haven't been good at beating sides in the 8. GWS are just snuck into the 8.
Yep.
Can they continue their progression to getting back to their best, Port Adelaide? That's a big question mark. You wouldn't want to drop off this week. I think if you can keep getting better, and a little bit of confidence will start building at Port Adelaide about the fact that, we can do it this year. We can win a premiership with all the injuries we've had. We can keep building and hopefully have a big September.
Rosie and Butters back into the forward line last week. This week, possibly Orazio Fantasia. There's a bit of firepower there.
Yeah, throw Dersma onto the wing as well and Lysett back into the ruck a couple of weeks ago. You're building a very good side. So it's 50-50 game, but... you go for the Power, Dits?
I do, for sure.
All right, Power and probably the Bulldogs there, I would think, but Crows maybe an upset.
All right, that's how Roo sees the footy this weekend.
What a goal! Roo and Dits
Hits Overnight Sports.
Hard to know where to start. Another amazing day as far as the Olympic Games are concerned. Kyle Chalmers swam his absolute heart out. He couldn't have done any more. He got touched out by a fingernail, so he wins a silver medal to back up the gold medal he won last time around. And afterwards, seriously, I've already mentioned this to you, but what a young man, what an absolute gentleman, what a humble sporting champion he is.
It's half a second faster than I was in Rio. If it went ahead last year, I wouldn't have been here swimming, so to be back swimming fast, shoulders feeling good. You know, qualified in lane 7, it's kind of a bit more challenging being on the outside. I have to swim my own race from start to finish and be breathing the other way on the way home, but I left everything in the pool. I gave everything I could. Win gold in 2016, come back and win silver. You know, it is great.
What about all the operations? He had 3 heart operations.
Yeah.
8 shoulder ops.
Yeah, he
Did I
talks
read
about
that?
his shoulder, but we forgot about the heart condition he had as well.
He wouldn't even have been there if the Olympics were last year. So an unbelievable effort and a great swim. And to do it from, as Thorpe said, from lane 7, even better effort.
Yeah, good on you, Kyle. Absolute champion effort. Now, let's hear the name we've fallen in love with is Zach Stubblety-Cook. He won the 200-metre breaststroke.
He goes up alongside Kaminga. Is it another gold medal for these Australians at these games? Yes, it is. The Aussie does it. Gets the Olympic record. Zach Stubblety-Cook. Remember that name.
How would you forget it, Basil?
Oh, I love getting the tingles at 6:35 in the morning. I've got him, but he backed over it and he had a great line. Have a listen to Basil.
Gold to Zach Stubblety-Cook in the 200 breaststroke. We can all go gobbledygook for Zach Stubblety-Cook.
Oh, good on you,
That
Baz.
belongs on Triple M, Basil, not on the Olympic coverage.
It's like he's Dennis Cometti's son, isn't it?
Oh,
It's like
I reckon he's got 2 fathers. He's got
Bruce,
and Dennis.
He's a bit of both,
He's
isn't
a
he?
bit of both.
But he's doing a great job. I'm enjoying his swimming commentary.
Yeah,
I really am.
awesome.
And Roo, I feel exhausted watching the swimming all week, and now the athletics starts today.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
And I love that. I really get into the running, like the 800, the 1500. I love those races. Today, the 10,000 metre final. So, yeah, that's up. Let's talk a bit of footy, shall we? The Crows have made a couple of good changes. Nick Murray back in, which is very good for your defence, and James Rowe straight back in to tackle the Bulldogs.
Yeah, he kicked 5 or 6 in the twos game last week, so good for him. They got a tough game up against the Western Bulldogs. Here's Tex Walker.
If we can get some fans down to the Adelaide Oval to watch us on next weekend, that'd be awesome. But hey, we'll try and beat the Bulldogs this weekend first.
Shocking conditions predicted for Ballarat. Windy and wet down there tomorrow afternoon. We'll be on Triple M covering that. Myself and Bernie and Biggles and Yater, I think, is the team live on Triple M tomorrow.
Early start, 11:50. 11:50
Yes.
tomorrow, so tune in to Triple M. And wherever you are, get the Listener app and you won't miss any of the footy action. Exciting for Port Adelaide. Orazio Fantasia's been named in the 26-man squad.
Yeah, I didn't realise he played last week.
Yeah.
And Tommy Rockcliffe told us that, so he's back in. And, I agree. And I know, Ditch, you've been talking about this with Nick Revolt. Have a listen to him talk about Port Adelaide.
They haven't looked like a premiership team because of the players that they've been missing, I think. But what they have been able to do is win enough games on the way through to stay in a really good position so that now they get the guys back that they've been missing. So once they plug that bit of elite skill and flair back into the side, I think they'll be right up there with the Melbournes and the Bulldogs and the Geelongs.
That was on the rush hour last night. Nick Revolt joining them for retro round on Fox Footy. Toby Green is back for GWS. He's their captain and their best player.
Whatever situation Toby's in, whether you're sitting on the bottom of the ladder, whether you're sitting on the top of the ladder, every time he crosses the white line, he gives everything he's got, and we're a better team for that. And he'll be a bit rusty at times because of the 2 weeks he's had out, but it won't be through lack of effort and application. He'll be giving everything he's got.
We had to do quarantine for 14 days for going to
the Wallabies game.
Yeah, so he'll be like a cage lion.
But Nick Revolt's onto it. Port Adelaide are building. They're just getting it right, hopefully, at the right time. Tonight, the round starts with Carlton and St Kilda. Now, earlier in the week, we talked about boxing being banned from training at AFL clubs. Now, the coach of the Bulldogs, Luke Beveridge, has got an interesting point of view on this.
The AFL should never be in the business of telling clubs how they can train and how they can't train.
What do you think of that?
Well, I think he's right, but we didn't think of that yesterday when we covered it because of the concussion side of things. But I guess if there's concussion issues, they have got it right, haven't they?
Yeah, you'd think so. Yeah. Common sense has to prevail. But I see what he's saying as well. And for all the rev heads, just to finish, Bathurst 1000 moves from October to November 7 because of the big Sydney lockdown. That's our look at sport.
For lunch or after work knockoffs, lock in the Lockleys Hotel on Henley Beach Road. On Ruined Dits for breakfast.
Hello.
Get it straight from the horse's mouth.
I'm Mr. Ed.
It's time for Rue's Tip of the Week.
All right, Dits, got a couple of horses today we're going to follow. We're going to have a bet on race 5, number 4, a horse called Clever Man. It won its last start. Just don't want it to rain too much tomorrow, so you might just have to watch it to see how much rain we've had before race 5, but it's in good form. Race 5, number 4, Clever Man. Okay, get on that.
Okay.
And in race 1, only if you're interested, I've got a horse that's debuting tomorrow.
Oh, hey.
Yes, own it with Rob Chapman, who used to be chairman of the Crows, and Darren Thomas, who donated $5,000 for our Fast 35. This horse was, it's a 3-year-old. It hasn't had a run yet. It was a bit short and fat, so we nicknamed it after Chappie, called it El Chapo. Good morning, Chappie.
It's a bit cruel.
But it's called Italian Viking, and it's $2. It's nearly
Italian
even money.
Viking.
It's called Italian Viking. Just watch it go around. Race 1, number 5, if you're interested. I don't think you can back it at those odds, but, you know... I'll be probably having a couple of beers if that gets up, and then I've got to call the footy straight after. So good luck. Hope the Crows play well. There you go. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Enjoy the Olympics, enjoy the footy, and enjoy your weekend.
We'll catch you Monday at 6 o'clock.